I didn't fire him. I didn't even confront him. When my intern stole my work and presented it as his own, I did something far worse. I let him finish, and then I let him present my mistake. My name is Daniel Carter, Senior Product Strategist, 7 years in a San Francisco tech firm. The kind of job people pretend they hate, but quietly fear losing. I built things people didn't see. Roadmaps, systems, strategy, invisible work until it worked. Then it became someone else's success. That's how it goes. But I didn't mind, because I believed in one thing: control. Not power, not credit. Control. That's what made me valuable. 3 months before everything changed, they assigned me an intern. His name was Ethan Blake, fresh graduate, top of his class, confident smile. Too confident. "Daniel, I'm really excited to learn from you," he said on day 1. I nodded. "Good, then listen more than you talk." He smiled again. "I will." He didn't. At first, he was impressive. Fast learner, sharp questions. But something felt off. He didn't ask to understand. He asked to replicate. One night, I stayed late, building something important, a new product strategy. 6 months of work, quietly tested, carefully refined. This was my leverage, not for promotion, but for survival. The next morning, Ethan walked into the office with a different kind of confidence. Not curiosity, ownership. "Hey, Daniel," he said casually. "Big presentation next week, right?" I paused. "How do you know about that?" He shrugged. "I've been paying attention." That's when I felt it. Something subtle. A shift. 2 days later, I walked into a meeting room and saw my slides on the screen. But I wasn't presenting. Ethan was. I stood outside the glass wall, watching him. Watching my work leave my hands. "And based on these projections, we expect a 28% increase in retention," Ethan said confidently. My words, my structure, my conclusions. The room was impressed. Nods, notes, approval. And then my manager, Laura, spoke. "This is really strong work, Ethan." I didn't move, didn't interrupt, didn't react, because in that moment, I understood something. If I exposed him now, it would be messy. He would deny, they would investigate, and the truth would get diluted. No, I didn't want noise. I wanted clarity. So I walked away. That night, Ethan messaged me. "Hey, Daniel, hope you don't mind. I shared some ideas today." I replied, "Of course not." 3 words, and he trusted me. That was his first mistake. I went back to my desk, opened my original files, every version, every note, every decision, and then I saw it, a flaw, small, almost invisible, but critical. The kind of flaw that doesn't break immediately. It waits, and then it collapses everything. I had caught it weeks ago, fixed it quietly, but Ethan didn't know that because he didn't build it. He copied it. That's when the plan formed. Not revenge. No, this was correction. If he wanted ownership, I would give it to him. Completely. The next morning, I called him. "Ethan, can you come by?" He walked in, confident. "I saw your presentation," I said calmly. "You did well." His eyes lit up. "Thanks, Daniel. That means a lot." I leaned back. "You should present it to the executive board next week." Silence. Then, "Wait, really?" I nodded. "It's your work, isn't it?" He hesitated, just for a second, then smiled. "Yeah, it is." That was his second mistake. I handed him my files, all of them, except one, the corrected version. I said, "You'll need these." He took them without question, and just like that, he became the owner and I became the observer. The day of the executive presentation arrived. Large conference room, glass walls, city skyline behind them. Ethan stood at the front, dressed sharper than usual, prepared, confident. I sat at the far end of the table, quiet, invisible. Laura nodded. "All right, Ethan, show us what you've got." He smiled and began. Everything was perfect. Delivery, structure, confidence. My work, his voice. Slide after slide, he built momentum. Approval spread across the room until he reached it, the flaw. And based on these projections, we expect a 28% increase in retention, Ethan said confidently. I watched the CFO lean forward. "Can you walk me through that model again?" Ethan nodded. Of course he did, because he believed it was right. He opened the data, explained it, repeated my old logic, the flawed logic. And then the questions started. Why are you assuming stability in churn? Where's the adjustment for seasonal variance? This baseline doesn't align with last quarter. Ethan's voice shifted, just slightly. I based it on... He paused, scrolled, looked again. The numbers didn't make sense anymore, because they were never meant to. I had fixed them, but he never saw that version. The room grew quieter. He grew smaller. Laura looked confused. "Ethan, did you validate this?" He swallowed. "Yes, I mean..." That's when I spoke, for the first time. "Would you like me to walk through the updated model?" Every head turned. Ethan froze. Laura nodded slowly. "Yes, Daniel, please." I stood, walked to the front, calm, unrushed, opened my laptop, connected it, and then I showed them the real version. Clean, correct, complete. This version accounts for the missing variables, which is why the projected increase is actually 11%, not 28%. Silence. Then, understanding. The kind of silence that changes decisions. The CFO leaned forward. "That makes more sense." Laura looked at Ethan, then at me. "Daniel, did you work on this?" I met her eyes. "Yes." I didn't say more. I didn't need to, because truth, when shown clearly, doesn't require defense. Ethan sat down, quiet, still, and for the first time he understood. Ownership isn't claimed, it's proven. After the meeting, Ethan came to my desk. He didn't sit, didn't smile. "I didn't know." "I know." Silence. "Why didn't you stop me?" he asked. I looked at him, calm. "Because you wouldn't have believed me." He lowered his eyes. "I'm sorry." I paused, then said, "Learn from it." Not anger, not punishment, Just truth. He nodded and walked away. A week later, he requested a transfer. And me? I didn't get promoted, I didn't get recognition, but something more valuable happened. The next time a project started, Laura said, "Daniel, I want you leading this. Fully. No questions, no doubts. Just trust. And in this world, that's the only currency that matters." I didn't expose him. I didn't fight him. I simply gave him exactly what he wanted. Ownership. And let the truth do the rest.